There we go. Rise and shine. We're getting up early. We're getting back on a good early morning schedule. Plus, it's Monday. It's got to be the day to wake up early. But once you get in a good circadian rhythm, it'll get to the point where you're waking up just about when you should. No alarm. Now, it will potentially depend on if you're bulking or cutting. When I'm bulking, it's so opposite to what you'd think. When I'm eating a ton of food, when I physically have more fuel in my system, is when I'm the most lethargic and tired, because I'm just constantly in this state of like slightly higher inflammation, more muscular damage from more intense training. And I mean, shit, when you're trying to gain size, you're just trying to keep yourself in recovery mode all the time. You know, wake up, get some food in your system, continue until whenever you train, get some more food in your system, just kind of repeat the process. I mean, I'm taking naps. But dieting, I'm not dieting like I have a show in 2 weeks. Like, I'm dieting consistently, you know, with a steady pace. But even at this level, I'm just sleeping better, you know. And it's not like an apnea kind of breath hold kind of deal. That's definitely something to consider if you're getting extra big. You know, some guys will get into a couple problems like that. I've had I don't know. I guess, I mean, does tracking your resting heart rate while you're sleeping accommodate, or would that be a sign if you did have sleep apnea? I think it would, because then every time you'd have like a little, like, you know, fit of like waking up, your heart rate would spike. I don't know. I personally don't have problems sleeping yet, and I plan not to. But dieting, I mean, shit, I'm waking up my alarm was set for 5:30. I got up at 5:15. 5:15 came around. Eyes pop open. All right, went to bed at 10. Okay, things are looking good. Things are looking freaking good today. So, earlier lift, I should have just jumped straight into the car. But it's 8 now, so I kind of just goofed off for a couple hours on my phone and got all my stuff ready and whatever. But yeah, if I can start getting into the gym at like a 7, like if I'm working set number 1, 7 in the morning, 6 in the morning, I like that. Because then you get the whole day. You get the whole day for whatever the hell else is going to be going on. But one thing I wanted to get into, and this is, I don't know, you tell me if you've ever experienced this. I don't think I have. I don't think I have too many moments in my life where I can kind of really say I resonated with this thought process, but I see it so much, it's prevalent enough to notice. So it's this fleeting, well, I guess fleeting's not the right word. It's just a surrender. I see a lot of people surrender, and they just have this mindset of, fuck, shit's not going my way, nothing's gonna work, God, what's the point? Ugh. You know, and what that is a roundabout sort of self-soothing mentality, because in a situation of a legitimate surrender, well, then surrender may legitimately be your best option, right? Obviously, you know, we're not in fucking Genghis Khan war times, and I guess if we were, surrender wouldn't even work. You'd probably just wipe your ass out. But, you know, a legitimate surrender of, okay, this really isn't going to work. You know, I've been working on my drop shipping business for 3 months, and dude, I'm just I need to find something else. You know, like sometimes things really do not work, and the best option is you got to give up and pivot, change it up, take what you learned and move on. You know, that's legit. But if you convince yourself, if someone were to convince themselves that the world is against them, they're shit out of luck, you know, they're kicking dust, just nothing is going to go my way, well, what's an easier thought process? What's an easier headspace to get into? All right, shit. I've had a bad couple of hands. Let's turn this around. Right, I gotta get real. I gotta start going even harder if I want to make some luck. or something along those lines. That sort of mentality, or you know what, nothing's ever going to work. And it's just a giving up before you even try. It's you can now convinced yourself of this state of the world, and it's going to become a legitimate reality because you're going to self-prophesize it, or I guess that's sort of the right word. If you convince yourself you're not going to be able to make any cool shit happen, well, then you're right. If you're completely convinced, if you're 100% certain, man, nothing I do is ever going to work, and it's just not, I'm not even going to, well, then that's what's going to happen, right? You believe it. Your own internal belief system is now proving you right, because you're telling yourself all this negative talk on repeat, and then you're not going to end up going after whatever the hell it is you want to get after. So now you're just proving yourself right by self-actualizing like that, So it's all going to start up here. It's a lot of these kind of things, when I get into it, it's definitely cliche. It's definitely like the body goes where the mind follows. It's been said a million times. But anything that's a cliche is such because it's been said so much, because it's so, I guess at one point it seemed very profound. Now it's just sort of repeated to infinity. But if you convince yourself you're not going to make it, you've made that happen. You've made that your own reality. So I guess this depends on whatever the hell it is you want to get after. But it's never going to hurt to put on a happy face and say, all right, you know what? Let's get it. Even if your current circumstances do not reflect that let's get it mentality, having it in the first place is going to improve your odds very substantially. I have no fighting ability beyond anyone else, and maybe I'm probably more hindered just because I'm so muscle bound. But if I somehow had to go up, toe to toe against whoever, let's say maybe they were a similar level to me, so it actually would be up in the air. The likelihood that I would win, if I'm convinced in my own head, oh my God, I'm about to get killed, or whatever, if that's what I'm already convinced of, versus if for whatever reason I'm just getting myself fired up, like, all right, shit, I gotta make something happen right here. Having that positive mentality, that's serious. That is a huge advantage. So, how often is somebody gonna go to the gym on the regular? They don't have the results that they want yet. They're trying, but they don't have them. Right? You got to get through that sort of, really to call it an initiation phase is a good way to put it. Because there's going to be a period of time where this is for the beginner. So if we've been training for a while, you're already through this. But if you have a long break from the gym, you've got to go through that initiation again. Should be easier the second time around. But it's this period of time where it's like effort is high, hopefully consistency is high, but feedback and results are low. You're not seeing a return. And that's where a lot of people, done, screw it, whatever. This isn't the point, but if you're going to be working out pretty seriously for a long time and you want legit gains, fuck, man, make some TikTok edits. Right? Every so often, it's not going to hurt you. But when anybody ever talks to me about trying to grow their social media, they're trying to, like, dude, I want to get a buddy I know, he's got like 300,000 followers on TikTok. What the hell can I do? One of my biggest tips is just keep posting. Just keep doing it. I still remember the first time I made a post that had like 100 likes. And I look back at it now, I'm like, man, that's fucking sweet. I don't remember what post it was, but I remember the feeling, right? Looking back, holy shit, 500 likes on this one? Hell yeah. It's like shit got me amped. And I've been posting stuff for long enough now that I've kind of seen different guys, they're huge, they're posting for a while, and then they give up. They stop, and I'm sure they're still working out, but it's the same thing with that. Okay, I'm posting for a while, I'm not getting the results that I want to see yet. Done. If that's the case, if so many people in whatever endeavor you're going down are gonna get burnt out and they're gonna drop out of the program, all you've got to do is keep showing up. All you've got to do is be present. You know, it's like you're going through a freaking seriously hard major. I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure some like law school professors or medical school professors, they've probably seen this more than anyone, where you've got however many 100,000 or 10,000 students freshman year coming in, get weeded out just to the ones who can make it at the end. And of the ones that do make it, do you really think they were the smartest? Were they just intuitively the most, high IQ, knowledgeable, lucky? I doubt it. I doubt that's a huge correlation of that sort of success. It's just the guys who managed to thug it out the whole time, and kind of handle the cold before they got into the warmth by the fire. So, I guess the main takeaway there is just keep grinding, right? Keep putting one foot in front of the other. And if net, whatever percentage of people every day are going to slow down, they're going to give up, they're going to say, this isn't for me, whatever, which I don't love that that's the case, but let's be real, it is, then all you've got to do is keep moving, because everybody else is going to slow down and, take a break, and I'm just taking like a, yeah, I'm taking a gap year from the gym. Yeah, man, I'm just taking a couple months off. I've been going too hard. I've heard that before. It's making me laugh. All right, but that's gonna be exciting. So, plan for arms. Didn't even talk about the workout yet. Just go nuts. Get a badass arm pump. I might superset tries and buys. I might not. I'll have to see what happens. I'm gonna warm up first, and then that'll kind of give me a little bit of a seedling of an idea of how I want this workout to look. But I can guarantee that within 60 minutes from right now, including the warm up and getting ready and everything, I will be pumped to a freaky degree. So let's make it happen. All right, so I'm thinking of starting with hefty triceps, but not crazy hefty, right? So what are the three different types of a regular kind of pull down? You've got rope, easy bar / straight bar, and then I think there's a third option people don't normally think about, and that's 2 D handles, especially longer ones. So I'm kind of getting that overhand strength and oomph of a regular push down, but also some of that separating long head squeeze at the bottom like a rope. So a little bit of a best of both worlds situation. So let's make this shit happen and we'll go from here. I think I'll do something like 2 sets of tries, 2 sets of buys, back and forth like that. So kind of a workout in 2s, I believe. Okay, that was a little too heavy. Let's do 190 instead of 250 for this next one. Ooh. Yeah. Cha. No. Okay. All right. Let's start a curl now. What kind? Give me a second to decide. All right, come on. Okay. Okay. One more. Let's make this next one a little heavier. Do the 60 instead of the 50s. All right, back to a curl. All right, and the pump cover comes fucking off. We're hitting some shirtless, or at least mostly shirtless. You say sleeveless, that's the right word. But this will be a good one, a little heftier. All right, let's hit a curl right here. All I gotta do is come over here and steal this easy bar attachment. All right, so I'm not like bone dry peeled just yet, but I mean, still seeing this much shoulder without a shoulder pump at all, that's something. But let's get this curl started. One more of those. It's even cooler on this side
because I got some sort of cross lighting coming in. All right, let's hit the set. I'm distracting myself mid-lift. All right. I think let's do a superset of a push down and a curl. And I think that'll be all. Okay, let's pose down. Pumped. All right, that's what I'm talking about. So, how many sets was that total? I don't even freaking remember. But more than enough to get an insane pump as we are seeing now. So, let's get a little through the tank and then we'll get a full kind of grasp on what's really happening. Okay, first thing that comes into my head here, a little Kevin Levrone-esque, obviously not the same. You know, if we teleported Prime Kevin right behind me, it would be a fucking Marvel movie moment. He's right behind me, isn't he? You know, some shit like that. But let it lift a dream, all right? I'm feeling pretty capped in the delts. But let's see how we're looking midsection included. So I think even with a shirted lift, I got to start rocking the undershirt just as like a little bit of a median layer between just completely drenching my standard pump cover. All right, let's back it up a little. Yeah, there we go. Now we're cooking with something. Holy crap. I don't think it's because of the arm day specifically, but just the fact that it's getting warmer in here, it's making me way more out of breath than normal. Like this thing is freaking drenched. I've still got cardio, so I want to use this as like a little bit of a sweat sponge before I put the other shirt back on and go back to the house. But I think an air conditioner of some sort is going to be necessary soon-ish. Soon fucking ish. But, you know, when it comes to what I was kind of getting at in the car, obviously I'm a bit more spoiled being ahead of the game in terms of heft, because every lift is almost like more motivating than the last, because I'm bigger, leaner, whatever. But I mean, I still remember back when I was a 160 something pounder, there was this gym in North Carolina. I think it was a Powerhouse. If you live around there and you've been lifting for a while, you might actually know about it. But I went there on a family trip to Hilton Head. I remember I'm 170. I'm taking a phone selfie camera picture, hitting like a bicep shot. And I really wanted to go back to the same gym and like compare me current to me then, like take the picture in the same spot. Gym shut down, right? But I guess that's not the point of the story. The point there is, even back then, just as like a relative scrapper in the gym, you know, I'm like, I think 235 might have been my 1 rep max at the time. Maybe not even 235, maybe just like 200, you know. So we're all starting somewhere, right? It's not necessarily an issue if you're not totally where you want to be. That's just kind of an extra incentive. And if anything, I think it makes it more interesting, because I don't look back and think, wow, I wish I could have skipped the learning process. Or I wish I could have skipped all of the lifts and just got right to where I am now. But if that happened, like if I got suddenly, if a damn genie appeared right now, Sam, do you want to skip ahead 5 years of time to get to your 5-year future build? No. I want to actually do it. That's like the whole point. If it was something where it was just like nothing to walk around like a freak, whether it be huge, more like a 200, a 180 lean, or whatever that is for you, if that was just like that, it would have no value. There would be no intrigue, because there would be no difficulty in acquiring it, you know? So it's kind of, the journey's the fun part, you know? So if you've got a long journey ahead of you, don't think of it as though, oh my God, this is gonna take forever. I think about it more like, shit, there's so much stuff I don't even know about yet to uncover, right? So that's the fun part. But I'm gonna jump on the cardio bike while my heart rate is still elevated. And I think that's all I fucking got, man. Badass pump. I'll see you tomorrow. Beep.